Hi Network Pros, tired of juggling USB sticks and cables just to get your movies onto the big screen? I'm going to show you how to turn your MikroTik router into a powerful home-wide DLNA Media Server. We'll set up your storage, discuss compatible file systems like exFAT, and talk about limiting access to a specific content. For example, making sure your kids only see their animations and nothing more. Plus, we will talk about CPU performance, Wi-Fi 6 streaming, and advanced storage using ROS package on MikroTik. So if this sounds useful, give the video a like and subscribe for more network tutorials. Let's dive in. So here I have a MikroTik router inside my home network, and I want to set up a DLNA server on this router so my family members can use it as a media server. For example, they want to watch a movie on the home's smart TV, or maybe they want to watch a show on their mobile phone or tablet or laptop. Here I'm using an old MikroTik router, which is RB951, and it has a USB Type A interface, and I've connected a USB stick to this router. So this router can use this USB disk storage for sharing the media. Let's take a look here in my WinBox. You can see in system and then resources, you can see the model, the CPU architecture here, and there are three considerations. The first one is about the RouterOS. This functionality is just available for MikroTik RouterOS version 7.14 and later. So beforehand, make sure you're updated. The second consideration is about the CPU architecture. Mine is MIPS BE, which is totally fine. But if you're using a MikroTik router with SMIPS CPU architecture, you can't use this functionality. If you have one of these two MikroTik routers, you can't set up DLNA server on your router. But mine is fine and I can use it. And the third consideration is the disk space. As you know, MikroTik usually don't provide their routers with much disk space. As you can see here, there is only about 100 megabytes disk space, and it's not nearly enough. We want way more disk space to upload and share medias for the users. So there are two ways here. The first one is using a MikroTik router with a USB interface, like this old MikroTik router. I've connected a USB to it, and I want to use disk space for our media server. But if you're using a MikroTik router which doesn't have USB interface, don't worry, you can still set up your media server on your MikroTik router. There is a package called ROS, which is RouterOS Enterprise. It allows us to connect our MikroTik router to a shared directory, for example, on a Windows machine, and use that space as an extended space for the MikroTik router and share the media from that space. Okay, that is great. But in this scenario, we will stick to the first method. If you're interested into this ROS package, just let me know in the comments and I will create another video about it. So here, let's start with check the disk status here in system and then disks. You can see it is USB 1 here. The disk space is about 32 gigabytes, and let's format this drive. Here the slot is USB 1. I can select exFAT and FAT32, but the better choice is exFAT because in FAT32 there is a limitation for files. You can't upload a file with more than 4 gigabytes of size. So the better choice is exFAT, and let's click on start. After a few seconds, you can see the file system is created successfully. And now we can go to files, and then you can see here this USB 1, which type is disk, is our USB disk, and we need to upload the media under this USB 1 here. So let's do it. Here there are two video files here, and I want to drag and drop into my WinBox and under this USB 1 directory. So the files are uploaded, and now we can easily set up our first media server on our MikroTik router. Here in IP and then media, let's click on add, and the first one is about the interface which users are connected to. In my setup, which is the default, you can see there is a default bridge interface and all other ports are under this default bridge. So Here, let's click on bridge. But if you're using a different setup, make sure you're selecting the right interface, for example, the WLAN. And the path is the directory that holds the media files. Here in files, you can see it's USB 1 for me. And let's copy it here, and the path is USB 1. And let's set a friendly name. So it's the name of our media server. For example, let's name it Ramtin DLNA here. And if I want to set limitation for some IPs and host name, I can use these two fields. Okay, let's click on apply, and now you can see it is running. Now we can go to our smart TV and scan the network and find this DLNA server and stream the media. But let's test it on this Windows machine. As you know, there are some applications that support DLNA, and one of them is the default Windows Media Player, and the other one is VLC, which is a free and great media player. Let's open VLC here and go to View and open the playlist. You can use Ctrl and L. Okay, here under Universal Plug and Play, you can see Ramtin DLNA, and if I open it, you can see my files here, and let's open one of them. You can see the video is playing and everything is working fine. So the setup is very easy, and you can easily set up your own media server on your MikroTik router. But let's talk about the limitation. Consider I have some kids inside my home and I want to limit their smart TV to just access to the animations, not all the medias. Okay, so here let's go back to the WinBox and open the files, and let's create another directory here for the kids. Here in files, let's click on directory and let's name it kids and place it under the USB 1 here. Okay, it is now created. Let's move one of these files under this kids directory. Consider this is animation. Let's get back here in IP and then media, and here let's create another media server. For example, again on bridge interface, the path will be here the kids directory, USB 1/kids. The friendly name will be kids. And let's not limit this kids media. Okay, we will limit the first one later. We will limit this, for example, adult movies, adult series, I don't know, nature movies for the kids. Okay, so let's click on apply, and if I get back here on the VLC, you can see there is another DLNA server here for the kids. Okay, and if I open it, there is just one video here. But the kids are not supposed to access this one. Okay, so let's limit the first media server here. Let's find out what is my laptop's IP address here. Here, if I type ipconfig, I can find it. It is 10.254. Here I can find it in DHCP server IP, then DHCP server, and on the leases tab I can find this is my Windows. Let's reserve these IPs for these MAC addresses, make a static, and this is my mobile phone. Let's consider this is our kids smart TV. Okay, so let's make this record a static too. So I want to limit this Ramtin DLNA to just this laptop. So my mobile expects to not see this one. Okay, so let's do it here. On the first one in IP and then media, here in the first one, I want to limit this access to this laptop here, and the allowed IP is this one, and here in my Windows, you can see I can still see both of the DLNAs. But if I go to my mobile phone and open VLC here in browse, you can see in local network, there is just one. You can see this is my Windows share directory. It is not related to MikroTik, but the first one is the MikroTik DLNA server. Let's open it, and now we can see there is just one video here. You can see it is playing, and consider this is our kids smart TV, and we successfully limited the access to the animations. You know, the kids are expected to just watch the animations, not the, for example, +16s media. Okay, so we've done it successfully together. And just like that, with a few steps in MikroTik RouterOS, your router is now the dedicated hub for all your home media. You've learned how to limit your media for specific IPs and keep your explicit content separated from the kids' content. Now for a better viewing experience, remember this. The overall performance, especially when streaming high bitrate media like 4K, is heavily influenced by your MikroTik router's CPU power and the network's capacity. So devices with Wi-Fi 6 like MikroTik HAP-AX series will give you a significantly better result. If you need more advanced file sharing capabilities, look into the MikroTik RouterOS package. This package allows you to use file sharing protocols like SMB to mount a shared Windows folder as local storage on your MikroTik router, adding even more flexibility to your DLNA setup. If this tutorial saved you from juggling another external hard drive, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into MikroTik and network configurations. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.